Today we are doing swatches, a look, and a review of Dominique Cosmetics' latest palette, the Rustic Glam. Hey, it's Amanda. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome back to my channel, but if it's your first time here and you enjoy beauty hauls, unboxings, reviews, first impressions, and more, you've come to the right place to hit subscribe for new videos weekly. Currently, it's July and I have my 300 subscribers / a summer giveaway. I thought it'd be fun to do a mini series of the palettes that we are giving away. Of course, not touching the ones I'm giving away, but the ones that are in my collection, and just show you guys some of the swatches and some looks and kind of give you my feedback on how the colors that I use perform. If you haven't already, I will leave a link in the description box to enter the giveaway if you haven't already. The giveaway is open through July 31st. Hopefully you guys are watching this before then so you guys can enter. I'm super excited to give away one of these Rustic Glam palettes. I love Dominique Cosmetics formula so much. So if you're interested in the swatches and the look of the final outcome, just keep on watching. And this is what the Rustic Glam palette looks like. I think this palette is absolutely stunning. Dominique Cosmetics formula is one of my favorite formulas of all time. I'm a huge eyeshadow palette junkie. I have so many palettes. I've tried so many different brands and their formulas, and this by far is one of my favorites. I always get excited when Dominique Cosmetics is releasing a palette. It can just be a black and white photo and I already know in my mind I want it. If you're into more neutral colors, you definitely have some neutral shades in here, but you also get that pop of color if you're also into color. I think it's a nice balance. I also think there's a nice balance of mattes and shimmers. Don't know if I've already posted some swatches on my Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @_Amanda. Love when you guys tag me into things. I'm like, yeah, tagging me in a giveaway. I'm gonna comment too, tag you right back. Let's up our odds. So let's go on ahead and do some swatches. And just to recall, when I do swatches on my channel, there's nothing on my fingers, nothing on my arm to help the colors pop. And I always do one swipe on the arm, otherwise noted. I enjoy doing finger to pan arm swatches. I think it gives you like a good indication how a given shadow is going to perform. It's helpful to get an indication if the shadow is going to be patchy. Is it going to have good pigment payoff? Hope you guys find those helpful. Alright, so let's start with the top row. And this is what the first 4 shades of the top row looks like. Fringe, Evil Eye, Free Spirit, and Cactus. And we still have pigment on my fingers after doing that one swipe. And then let's grab those last 2 shades. Dreamcatcher and Wildflower. Wow, this shade right here, I'm living for it. So the only shade I'm kind of, what's going on here, is this green shade Cactus. It had pigment and there was still pigment on my pinky, but it just looks a little faded. There's still pigment throughout the whole swatch, but other than that, all these shades swatched beautifully. They're definitely cooler than what I'm usually attracted to. I am a warm tone palette girl. I'm still excited to dive in this palette. It is different from what I'm used to, and I'm excited to have Fringe and Free Spirit in this palette. These will be great to set the base. That's something I've been really into lately, is using a really tacky base, mainly the ABH eye primer. So I like to really set that base before going in, just to make sure we are good to go. I had a feeling that Evil Eye blue shade was going to stain, and it slightly is, but that just means really good staying power, which makes me a little nervous to blend because it is a really vibrant blue. I love blue eyeshadow. It's just blue eyeshadow does not want to work in my favor. We'll make it work. So I really want to use that shade. And then the bottom row. This right here would make a beautiful neutral look. Suede, Bohemian, and Desert Queen. Oh my gosh, Bohemian, stunning. I'm living for that. And then the final 3 shades. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. These 3 are some of my favorites from this palette. Wanderlust, Moonchild, and Gypsy. Gypsy on the end is just beautiful. And of course, we still got pigment on the fingers. What I really love about Dominique Cosmetics palettes is that the consistency across all of her palettes. I have all 4 of her eyeshadow palettes. I really love that latte palette. I featured it in my favorite palettes video. Maybe it's because it's the coffee fanatic in me. I'm obsessed with that palette. Both her mattes and shimmer shades are both creamy and buttery. Looks like we got a tad staining too. Staining doesn't bother me. Just put some concealer on your eyes the next day if it's looking like you have an eye disease. Still unsure of what I'm gonna do with this palette, but what I do know for sure is I'm gonna take the ABH eyeshadow primer. I have been living for this primer. I have heard mixed reviews of it. Either you really love it or you don't like it at all, and I fall in the category of loving it. All you need is a little bit. I think I even grabbed too much. Just gonna go put it on the eyes. Almost forgot to close my tube back up. Forgot to mention, the only makeup I have on right now is just my brows are filled. And now we have primer. I don't have any face makeup on, so excuse the face if we're looking a little rough. I'm just taking this Wet n Wild brush. Doesn't have a name on the handle. Probably got it from the Dollar Tree. I just had to clean the base up a little bit. Got a little crazy. I'm gonna take a Farrah 45E. I'm gonna dip into the shade Free Spirit to set the base. There is a little bit of kickback in that shade and some fallout. You don't have to set your base. I just really like doing it. I know for me, I have noticed that the shades perform a lot better when I set the base as opposed to not. Let me know if it works better for you to set the base or not to set the base. To set the base or not to set the base? That is the question. Do you think Shakespeare would have set the base? Do you always have one eye that ends up better? Because so far, this eye that I do second is looking a lot better than this eye. I have like base in my brow and it's just like a wax shape. But when I went to clean up this, you know, it's like nice and the moment we have been waiting for. What shade to dip into? Not gonna dive into Evil Eye yet. I always want to say Evil Queen because it reminds me of Snow White. I think I'm gonna first start out with Wildflower. Oh, there's a lot of kickback in this shade too. Luckily, it's staying in its pan. Kickback doesn't really bother me as long as it's staying in the pan like this. And it's just going its merry way after I go, bye. And let's just take it right here. It's a soft pink, so it's going to be built up. I like how it's soft instead of being bam in your face, so you have more control of the shade. And it's blending out nice. Also having to dip in every so often just to get that shade built up. And I'm taking a Sigma E38 brush. I've got it. The best way I can describe this pink shade is Jigglypuff. It's a Pokemon from the original 151. I love Pokemon. Everyone thought, oh, they're gonna grow out of Pokemon. Amanda never did. I am a kid at heart. I am such a huge nerd and I have no shame. I am stoked for Sword and Shield to come out in the fall, and I really want Detective Pikachu out on Blu-ray right now because it was so good. 10 out of 10 recommend. I think it might be safe to bring in the blue. On a Luxie 231, I'm gonna take Evil Eye right now. So I just wanna take it here in like the outer third towards my outer V. It is stunning. I like just going in slightly, not just dousing my brush, which I usually do. Taking my time, back and forth motions like so, around the outer V. Almost like a pastel look we have going on. If you're having a gender reveal party, this look is for you guys. Before we get into everything else. So it's coming along. I still don't know where I'm going with this. Even though like I don't have much on my lid right now, I still like to go in and kind of shape the eyelid part. It helps me with my hooded eyes. So I'm gonna go in with some Makeup Revolution cut crease. Wait, I need a cut crease brush. Help. I'm gonna take my Alamar brush. I don't know what the name of it is. It has rubbed off because I use it all the time. Slightly gonna tap some on. Wasn't even planning on going for like a more cut crease look. That's why I said just to carve out my eyelid. I feel like with my hooded eyes, it's hard to even tell it's a cut crease. And then back on that fair brush, we'll take that Free Spirit shade again just to set it. On a Sigma E57, I'm gonna take the shade Cactus. I really am intrigued how this shade is going to perform. Oh, it's popping on that base. Okay. I was a little worried. That shade is stunning. I am living for Cactus. Still don't know what we're going for, but this is what we got. I'm gonna clean off that E57 brush because I want to use it again. I really want to take Dreamcatcher. That shade likes to get set. shade Gypsy to smoke out. I know it's a shimmer. I'm notorious for wanting to do smoking out my lower lash with shimmers, doing a full look with shimmers. I was about to say I did a whole look with mattes, but we did Dreamcatcher, which is a shimmer. It looks quite matte now. Be very careful with this shade because I feel like it could go crazy at any moment. But I also have to be quick because my eyes could start watering at any moment. Ah, that shade is gorgeous. Interesting choice for the waterline. But if I chose blue, I would have been like, nope, it's wrecked. Ruined. So Gypsy is still fun. It's still like a Bulbasaur-ish color-ish. It's more like Ekans, I know. I like it, I like it, I like it. Thought about doing inner corners, but since Cactus is very inner cornery, I don't want to take away from that shade. Overall, I did not really run into any issues with this palette. I will say Wildflower was the one shade that really needed to be built up. I half expected it to be Cactus, but I feel like the base that I used also really helped. I don't know how Wildflower will show up if you use concealer as a base, as well as like an Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. Be aware of that color. If you're like, oh, this needs to be built up, I had to build it up too on a really tacky base. Evil Eye blended really, really nice. Thought it was gonna be a little scary. I'm glad I took my time and like tap, tap, tap just to make sure I had just like a little bit of color and worked my way up because it is definitely pigmented. It wants to be there. Dreamcatcher was like the most saturated shade I used out of all of them. My brush was completely covered. It didn't even need MAC fix. It's not as shimmery on my eyelid right now, so I don't know if it's just because like I have like my mattes taking over when I was doing like my final blending just to make sure there was no harsh lines. If you look like really close, you can see some glitter, but it's not like bam glitter. So I don't know if it would look more glittery if I just had it by itself instead of Cactus. I'm an Evil Eye, so that is something that I'm noticing too. But Gypsy on the lower lash, this beautiful magenta purple shade, you can definitely tell that there's some shimmer. I'm excited to make some more looks with this palette. So this is like the Bulbasaur inspired look. I wasn't loving it until I put on some eyeliner, especially on my lid, and then it kind of looks a little bit more defined. It was looking like a glob almost, aside from the pink, just because like the shades I did choose were a little similar. I was kind of going like for like that ombre green and get darker out. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. I have the link in the description down below if you're interested and want to win one of these palettes for yourself. And if you already have this palette, let me know what your thoughts were, what looks you created. Would love to see your looks to get some inspiration for my next one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next video.